ain't no disco.
This ain't no country club neither.
This is RVA. Hey.
Hola. Welcome back, everybody.
It seems like we're here every day now.
Well, these will be released spread out.
Yeah.
We got some vacay plans, y'all. We got to cram
We're
stuff
planning.
in. Anyway, you're listening to another great episode of
Lala in the dungeon.
And Big Daddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Season 2.
Episode 22.
Cool.
Yay.
All right, so today we are interviewing Renai from Fetch a Cure. So glad to have you on. Hi.
Thank you guys for
Welcome,
having me. We're excited.
Cool.
Wow. Can't wait to dive into the interview.
Same. It's a great cause. Heartwarming.
We're honored to be here and honored to get to do the work that we do. So thank you guys for highlighting it. We're proud to be a part of the Richmond veterinary community.
Absolutely. Glad to have you on the show.
Yeah.
We love animals.
And then we're going to talk about our hot topic today, which is stalking.
Yes, it's incredibly hot. And then, of course, Big Daddy will drop it on us, as always. What are you telling us, Big Daddy?
And today I'm going to be talking about our experience at Midtown Yoga, and that's a story in itself, and some Olympic fun facts.
Nice.
And then we're, of course, interviewing Renai, and we are talking about some events coming up with Fetch a Cure, and
Our business and band of the week.
oh yeah, forgot about
But
that.
of course.
Cool.
So lots of fun stuff planned for this episode.
Yes. Let's dive into it. Tell us a little bit about the Kim K. Emma Roberts stalking drama.
Yeah, so recently, Kim Kardashian, she just filed legal docs obtained by TMZ, of course, asking a judge to grant a restraining order against Melvin Jeffrey Conley. According to the docs, Kim K got a call from Emma Roberts warning her a man who had broken into Emma's house and told her about his desire to make contact with Kim and her children. And this is true. So back in May, Connolly allegedly broke into Emma's house and used her landline to dial her cell phone number. Emma was out of town and she missed the call, but saw that someone was calling from her landline. So she thought it was a family member. She called back and Connolly answered, and he claimed that Emma gave him permission to stay at her home, and she did not. She had no idea who he was.
So creepy.
So yeah, that's
Yikes.
going on.
Oh my
Scary to be a
God.
celebrity. It's even scarier to have a stalker when you're not a celebrity, because I feel like they have like at least security.
Yeah, I mean, that's what comes to my mind. If they have that much power and like can't control someone breaking into their home and using their landline, then I mean, that just goes to prove all the stories we've heard about, like, it's not just women, but I'm just using women as an example. Like women who are being stalked, they report it and then they get murdered the next day.
Yeah, and it's always like catch and release with the stalkers. Like they let them go, especially in California. I feel like crime is just like it is in Virginia.
So I think stalking in general can be attributed to a mental illness. That's kind of one of the undertones with a lot of stalkers.
Definitely, they're like delusional that this person is like in love with them or they're friends.
Well, and that also became a big issue. Like in the 1970s, they actually basically kicked everyone out of mental institutions. I read a whole book about this. And
That's terrifying.
That's why the homeless population increased like tenfold due to that and other things in the 1980s. Wow. But like, I mean, when I was a student multiple times at VCU.
A Renaissance woman?
Yes, at VCU. I mean, there were always like some people that you could tell had like schizophrenia, like wandering around down there. And, you know, it can be very jarring if you don't know how to handle yourself in that kind of, you know, situation.
Don't make eye contact.
Yeah, I actually think it's really sad that they're not getting the resources they need and they're just out there on the streets.
I mean, and we've seen what that can lead to. Like, I mean, even with like the guy that shot John Lennon, I'm blanking on his name right now, but you know, like that was a stalking a celebrity stalker. And I know there's been a bunch of like news women who've been murdered by stalkers. I mean,
You've been stalked.
Yes, I have.
Tell us more.
It wasn't
God.
me.
It was Matt. It was Big Daddy.
Yes, then I was
That's how they got married.
No, I was dating a guy that I knew from high school. This was years after high school, but what I didn't know is that he was living a double life, or maybe like 4 or 5 lives, because apparently he was dating me and like 3 or 4 other people while also being married. When I found that out, I, of course, was like, I had choice words for him, but I cut him off completely. This was before as much technology had developed. I'm 5
Like
billion years
Facebook.
old.
Probably a good thing, right?
Yeah, this was
luckily.
this was like a few years after Facebook let you join if you weren't in college at the time. So probably 15 years ago now. But he would come by my house, and I was renting in an old boarding house like off of Monument Avenue, and so there was no real security. He would come bang on my door, like he would get into the building because the doors wouldn't be shut all the way.
God.
I wouldn't know who was there. I'd see it was him, and I'd be like military crawling, like trying to hide from all the windows and stuff.
And like he just wanted like to get back together, or was he like pissed at you?
Yeah, no, he thought he could like gaslight me and make me get back with him. He was a narcissist, classic narcissist.
Sounds like a classic stalker thing to do.
Basically, yeah. And he would try to like use experiences, like he heard or he saw, I guess because he was stalking me, that my grandfather died, and his grandmother had died while he was married, and the first person he contacted, according to him, was me, and came over to my house. So he saw that my grandfather had died and like wrote me a letter, shoved it under my apartment door, would like use emotions and stuff. And he had never threatened violence against me, so I never contacted the authorities. But I mean, I can see how difficult it would be to prove any of that kind of stuff.
How'd you get him to go away?
Well, luckily I moved, and then he didn't find me, and I changed my phone
Wow,
number.
so he could still be out there.
Oh, he's still out there, I know, for a fact.
Oh, no.
Sadly, he still lives here in Richmond. But-
He's coming. I'm just kidding.
and he's still married to that woman who probably thinks that all the women who've called and said that he's having an affair are lying or crazy. I don't know. But c'est la vie.
That's stressful.
Yeah. Luckily, I found Big Daddy over there.
And I'm not a stalker.
But I am.
Yeah, but definitely I think all these laws and things need to be revised. And somehow there has to be a way that people are actually held culpable.
Yeah.
Because it's
It's,
insane.
it's so hard to prove anything. You gotta make sure, guys listening, if you're being stalked, like take pictures, document it. Like you gotta get your proof when you seek legal action.
And don't let someone pressure you to like delete something or change your mind about reporting something, because like that, even if
Don't
it's
feel
something
guilty.
dumb and it ends up being nothing, that's your life.
And it's so easy to just feel guilty, like when you're an empathetic person, like you're like, oh, but this person needs help. Oh, maybe it's me. No.
And a lot of
Report
times
that
those
shit.
kind of
You're gonna
people are
die.
like grooming you and have targeted you on purpose because they think you're vulnerable for some reason, unless you're a celebrity, and then it's probably delusions of grandeur or something. But
Anyway,
Yeah, so speaking of stalkers, there's a lot of great movies on Netflix. There's this one that is absolutely insane called
yeah.
Lover, Stalker, Killer, which is about a girl who stalks a guy, and it just gets absolutely insane. And it was kind of funny. I think in that one, there's like an Amy and a Liz, and
that's kind of weird, yeah. Because my other best friend, her name's Amy, so it was like,
That is weird. And then what's that really good show?
Baby Reindeer.
yeah.
And so that is
Another woman
a
stalker.
really good show, but it's kind of creepy at the same time because the woman stalks this guy like obsessively, and it's
And like at first he feels bad, like because she just is lonely and she needs a friend, and then that's how I get. I
Renee,
get
did you
pulled
see any
in.
of this?
I haven't seen any of it. No.
Oh my
God,
it's
Baby
so
Reindeer
good.
on Netflix, insane.
But I feel like that's how the stalkers
Yeah.
get you. Like they make you feel like guilty and like you just want to like be a friend. And I've been through something kind of similar. I won't name names, but Liz knows who I'm talking about. Just like being the victim, and like that you won't stop messaging you and you feel bad and like you don't want them to commit suicide. So you just like, you try to be there for them, but it's hard to know when to say no. Anyway, let's move on. Let's introduce our guest.
Yes, let's move on from these dark times and topics.
Yeah. So, on today's episode, like I said, we have Renai from Fetch a Cure. Hello. Fetch a Cure is a 501c3 nonprofit organization focused on improving the quality of life for pets. They working with pet owners and the veterinary community. Yeah. Fetch is furthering pet cancer awareness, education, and treatment. Their vision is simple: a community where no one is denied a choice for their pet's health due to lack of options, education, or funding. Renai started volunteering for Fetch a Cure in 2017 and a foster for Fetch's Pixie Pen Pals rescue program. In 2021, she began working for Fetch part-time as the volunteer and community outreach coordinator. And in 2022, after 10 years as a teacher in the public school system, Renai joined Fetch a Cure full-time as the director of development.
Ooh,
so without further ado, let's welcome Renai.
All right,
Thank you,
welcome
guys.
to the
I'm
show.
excited to be here.
Glad you could be here.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're glad you braved the hurricane.
Oh yeah,
I know.
Was it hard driving here?
No, I actually live in Chaco Slip, so I'm close by.
that's
and
nice.
It was just, and the rain has stopped, which is great.
And
It's been on and off. As soon as I get on the highway, downpour.
and supposedly
Every
there's
time.
a tornado watch too.
Yeah, I think probably for the next day or so. So
Good
I
Lord.
don't know.
Exciting times.
Yeah. Okay, so my first question always, are you from Richmond? If not, what brought you here?
I'm not from Richmond, so I actually grew up and did my undergrad in Dayton, Ohio. And like, most 23-year-old women, I came out here with a boyfriend because he was going to med school at VCU. And that didn't work out, but I loved Richmond and couldn't leave. So here we are 10 years later.
Yeah, that's cool. So how did you get affiliated with Fetch a Cure?
So in, I think it was like 2017, I had a 3-year-old dog, Sullivan or Sully, and he was diagnosed with lymphoma, which was so shocking to me because he was 3 years old.
young.
Sad. Yeah.
So
That's young.
So young. And I was teaching and realized that, there was some hope for him and treatment was available. And that was brand new information to me. He was my first dog as an adult. And so I found out about Fetch and our Companions in Crisis program, which will cover 20 to 40% of a pet's total cancer treatment.
Wow,
That's
that's
amazing.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
And unfortunately for Sully, his cancer was, pretty far gone. So treatment wasn't, a super great option for him, but he did get 5 really good months with a lower treatment. But I just loved what Fetch stood for. And I loved this like network of people that just their dogs are their family. And they want to make sure that nobody's having to think about letting their dog go because of finances. So that's how.
That's a wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's a good
God.
mission.
Yeah.
I love that name.
Sorry about Sully.
Thank you.
He's
Yeah.
a baby.
It's so funny to me to like think back at, moving here and getting this dog. And I definitely would have never wanted him to be diagnosed with cancer. But I think, bigger picture led me to this path that I'm on today. And like, I'm so grateful. Cause dogs are just, they do that. They're your like absolutely loyal companion, never without you, So yeah, bigger
Guardian
picture.
angel.
So how did you find Fetch a Cure? Like, how did you find out about it?
Oddly enough, 6 months before Sully was diagnosed with lymphoma, I was hanging out at Jack Brown's, and Fetch was doing like a give back day. And I remember being like, that's so cool. Like this organization for dogs with cancer. And I probably tossed $5 in the donation bucket because I was, again, like a 24-year-old,
Yeah.
25-year-old teacher.
Oh, I feel you.
And just put like their we have these great cards called lump and bump cards, and they show you where to examine your pet at home. And I just remember like being like, that's a really great idea. And I plopped it on my fridge. And then 6 months later, when everything came to fruition with Sully and him having cancer, I was like, wait, there's that thing on my fridge. And so I went to their website or our website now and found an application and filled it out, and they immediately called me back and said, we can help and there's treatment. And so I've never looked back.
That is so cool. I feel like it's synchronicity. Like I feel like your dog loved you and led you to your
It was
destiny.
definitely fate.
In a weird way?
Yeah. And then about a month after Sully passed, I got an offer from Fetch to foster through our Pixie's Pen Pals program. And so with this program, we pull dogs from shelters and put them in correctional facilities, and the inmates train them.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. And then they're adopted out. So we're officially with 3 correctional facilities in the state of Virginia through a partnership with the Virginia Department of Corrections. One of them is like fully up and operational, but the other 2 are still kind of in their startup phase because COVID really put a kibosh on this
I'm sure.
whole thing, because we just, they needed space for the inmates and not the dogs. And so now we're back, and I got to foster this really sassy dog.
Frisky.
Really frisky dog, yeah. Through Fetch, he was an 8-year-old dog that they had pulled from Goochland Animal Control, and his handlers in the correctional facility found 2 tumors on him, and they also happened to be cancerous.
Oh, wow.
So Fetch asked me to consider fostering him, and he was the light of my life. He was the epitome of what the program should not be because he definitely had his opinions and had his preferences. And I got to work with our lead trainer, Casey Herrera from Two Speak Dog, to kind of work through his quirks, as we call them.
His quirks.
And he unfortunately was never adopted and got to live out his last 4.5 years of life with me, which was such an honor. So yeah, I've got to be really invested in both parts of our 2 major programs, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. So do you have any animals now?
I do. I have 2 dogs. I have a 5-year-old now, one-eyed, 3.5-legged pit bull. He is a rescue from Richmond Animal League because unfortunately Pixie's Pen Pals was not operational at the time that I was looking for a dog, and his name's Griff. His shelter name was Hippogriff.
Oh,
And
That's cool.
Yeah, and he with the one eye, kind of mythical and magical.
Yeah.
And he lived with the foster family for 6 months, and they just started calling him Griff, and I was like, well, that's his name. Like, that's perfect. And then my boyfriend and I have an almost 7-year-old pit husky, rambunctious mess of a dog named Reuben after the sandwich.
yes.
Cute.
One of my
That's such a
favorite
cute
sandwiches.
name.
Yes, it's Neil's favorite sandwich as well. So that's how Reuben got his name. And then we currently also have a 10-year-old foster Great Dane.
Oh, wow.
So we've got a whole mess of animals at the house. Yeah.
You got your...
Did they all sleep with you at night?
No, there's just not enough room for all those.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah. The Great Dane is 85 pounds now, and then Griff is 70 pounds, and Reuben is 45 pounds. So it's a whole lot of dogs. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
busy.
wild.
Yeah.
So explain to me one more time, what is Pixie's Pen Pals?
So it's a rescue program that it's the 3rd oldest prison dog training program in the country. So we have 3 partner shelters here in Virginia. We work with Goochland Animal Care and Control, or I guess it's just Goochland Animal Control, Richmond Animal Care and Control, and Southside SPCA. And so our trainers will go into the correctional facilities and look for a dog that would thrive with some additional training. And we pull that dog out of the shelter, which is great because it gives the shelters much needed kennel space. And then we place those dogs in one of our 3 partner correctional facilities, and they live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with 2 inmate handlers. And these handlers are training them for their canine good citizen prep. So, that's like I think it's a 10 test or 10 item test, like sit down, being able to walk loosely on a leash. And And so it's one dog for every 2 inmate handlers, and they live with these handlers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then we adopt them out. The goal being that the dog gets some much needed additional training and the inmates learn life skills that hopefully translate to when they are released back into the community. So they have homework every week. Our trainers go into the correctional facility once a week and host a 2-hour class. And in this class, they're having to do like journal prompts and like present to the group.
Wow,
they're learning
that's
to
so
work
cool.
with their partner. Yeah. I mean, it's a really awesome
That's heartwarming
program.
all around.
Yeah.
How do the inmates have to apply for this? Do they have
I
to
was
be
going to say,
qualified?
how do you pick the
Yeah,
inmates?
because I always, do the inmates ever abuse the animals?
Absolutely not. So they have to be honors inmates, and they have to have like no issues on their record for a certain amount of time before they're allowed to be a part of the program. They have to apply. They're interviewed by our trainer and the Pen Pals program coordinator. And we don't work with violent offenders either. So we're, any sort of animal abuse, anything like that, they're automatically disbarred from the program.
God, that warms my heart. Oh, that's wonderful.
I think the most other than the fact that, Javi, my soul dog, came from this program, I think one of my favorite parts is a couple of years ago, we were hosting a training session for volunteers specifically for this program. And Casey, our trainer, got to FaceTime with one of the women she'd finished her sentence. She had been with the program for years. And then she actually started working at a doggy daycare when she moved back to her hometown. And then from there, saved up money and took her dog training certification courses. And then from there, started her own dog training business and was able to save up enough money to put a down payment on a home.
I'm like getting chills right now.
I mean,
wonderful.
The day that we got to FaceTime her, I had tears in my eyes because I was like, this is what it's about. And Casey, our trainer, would say, I think it's like a 4-win program, and she has a reason for why there's 4 wins throughout. Obviously, the shelter gets an extra kennel space, the inmates learn skills, the dog learns skills, and then the family that adopts these dogs get like incredible, well-trained dogs. So 4 wins across the way, which is just so cool.
Right. And so do people specifically apply for those dogs that have already had extra training, or how does that work?
Yeah. So if you go to our website, www.fetchacare.org, and there's a tab that says Pixie's Pen Pals, and then we'll have our adoptable dogs. So right now it's just one correctional facility with dogs fully in there and in training, but we'll have 2 with dogs soon. And it's 4 dogs per program. So at any given time, there's a minimum of 4 available dogs. So you can check out their pet finder profiles. They have great descriptions that the handlers actually write, which I think is so cool. Because they have to, really utilize those skills that they're learning.
And they spend the most time with them.
They do. They know them better. When I got Javi, his handlers had written me all sorts of notebooks about like he can only have the black Kong because he'll absolutely shred anything else.
So cute.
Boudreaux has a black Kong.
Yes, he does, but he prefers red toys.
And what do we,
Prefers red toys.
Yeah.
what does your dad call the black Kong?
His butt plug, because it looks like a butt plug.
I mean, it does.
My dad didn't have dogs growing up, and he came over one time and was like, and my dad's gay, so he's like,
Sometimes we'll see Boudreaux digging in his toy box, and we're like, oh, he wants his butt plug.
yeah. He needs that butt plug, actually.
So, moving on to another
Digress. Anyway.
Is Fetch a Cure, is it Richmond founded?
Based in Richmond, but we will work with dogs and cats in Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. So we have since our founding, but our headquarters is here in Richmond.
That's
and
so cool.
Most, we have great presence in other areas, Northern Virginia, Maryland, but I would say like the bulk of our organization is here in Richmond.
Are you friends with, are there any other states that have like something similar to this? And are you friends with them? Do you do like galas with them or?
Yeah, there are definitely organizations like ours out there, but we don't really work with them so much, but we're fortunate to work with a lot of great animal welfare organizations here in Richmond. And the fundraisers and things that we have are for Fetch specifically.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
How can people volunteer?
So if you go to our website under giving, obviously there's a tab for financial giving, but then also on that tab, they'll take you to some information about volunteering. I am actually the volunteer coordinator, so I get to send out like 1 to 2 emails every month with things that we have going on and how we can have help or how we need help. And yeah, you just check it out on our website.
That's amazing.
Do you ever partner with the SPCA in Richmond? Or are you not affiliated?
Not, I mean, we do some of like events together with the Richmond SPCA, like where we're vendors side by side. But they have their own fur ball and they have things like that, which is really cool. Fur ball. It's at the Jefferson.
Wow.
But yeah, we don't use them for like any of our programs specifically.
And there was another thing I was going to ask. Liz, do you
Well,
have anything?
it's so cool that there's so many animal organizations. I mean, maybe because I'm an animal lover,
Yeah.
I like follow everyone, but I feel like Richmond really like is animal obsessed.
Richmond,
Am I wrong?
dog obsessed.
Dog obsessed,
Yeah.
animal obsessed. It's funny, like when I go home to Ohio to visit family, I always take Griff. And I was wanting to take my grandma out to brunch. She loves Griff. And sit on a patio somewhere with him. And there are no places like that in Ohio. And it's wild coming from Richmond, where I think my dogs have been on like 3 patios this week hanging out.
that's
So,
cool.
you know, we're really fortunate to live in a town where dogs are so loved and
Embraced.
embraced
Yeah.
and valued.
It's so true about Richmond. Can you tell us a little bit about Pets on Parade that's coming up in November?
Yeah, so that's our biggest fundraiser of the year. So we have a really great program called our Steel Dogs Helping Real Dogs. And now that I've said this to you, you're going to see them everywhere you go. But there are about 200 steel dog sculptures in the city. They're like 4 foot tall, maybe. And they're all painted by local artists. They sit out front of a lot of local businesses.
I can see one in my mind right now,
Yeah,
but I
me
cannot
too.
place where I've seen it.
I definitely have seen one.
Yeah. And now I've just like cursed you guys with the Fetch a Care steel dog curse, because you're going to see them everywhere. And I love that, because you're going to be like, that's a fetch dog. So that program was developed as a sign of, 1 in 4 dogs and 1 in 5 cats will have cancer in their lifetime. So we want these steel sculptures throughout the city to be a reminder that there's hope, there's treatment, and also check your pets at home for lumps and bumps and really make sure that you're looking them over. So when you're out and about in the community and you see these dogs, you're like, I haven't done Boudreaux's monthly lump and bump check yet. I got to get on that. And then also it obviously just signifies that the business is a dog lover, dog supporter, which as dog lovers and dog supporters, we love to see that. So we will unveil 15 or so brand new steel dog sculptures at Pets on Parade.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we unveil a new litter. We call it every single year, and they're painted by local artists, and it's just really cool. And then they get to go, the sculpture will live at the business's location. And that also raised funds for all of our missions and programs that we've talked about so far. And then so the event starts at 6 p.m. at Main Street Station. There's an open bar. We get about a dozen of Richmond's best restaurants to serve signature small plates. So it's sort of like tapas style food.
Can you say what restaurants?
I can tell you a few that I've booked already. Let's see. We will have Mosaic from River Road.
We
love that place.
Yeah. We'll have Toast.
We love that place.
We
Yep.
go there all the time.
And there's a new one opening in Scott's Addition that we're really
wow,
excited
I didn't
about
know
for
that.
the Toast fam, right across from the Diamond. River City Roll, Bar West, Fat Kids Sandwiches is making time
Oh
for
my
us.
God, yes.
With their new construction and renovation. What else am I missing? I know I'm missing more.
Well, color us there.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sounds
I mean, you
wonderful.
won't be hungry for sure. With a dozen different
Open bar. Say no
open
more.
bar, silent auction. We were just booking some silent auction things today. Everything from you can work with a brewery down in Chester to put your pet on a beer label, which is really
And they
fun.
did the wine label at Brambly not too long ago.
We did the wine
Yeah.
label at Brambly, and I just had a phone call with Bobby from Brambly today, and we've got some really exciting things in the work for the live auction this year.
Oh, cool.
I won't spoil the details. We usually have a ton of restaurant gift cards, a ton of experiences, Airbnbs, staycations, vacations. We are fortunate to have a board member who has great connections in DC and gets us a lot of like Broadway tickets, concert tickets, sports tickets. So there's something for everyone. And then at 8:00, everyone will sit and we'll do like typically a little mission moment before we have a live auction with usually some trips. The last couple of years, we've been fortunate enough to auction off a mural of your pet on the side of River City Roll.
Oh my
That's
God.
so cool.
Yeah. So if you next time you go to River City Roll, if you take a look at the wall in the parking lot, there is a beautiful little pup named Marbles with her adorable heart-shaped sunglasses.
We've seen it.
Yes, we go there all the time.
Well, Fiaba has been added, who is a dear friend of mine. He unfortunately lost his battle to osteosarcoma earlier this year, but he is forever memorialized on the side of River City Roll.
Forever.
And
So cute.
coming in September, I believe we'll have Chance, who is a Churchill resident, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
A local doggo.
A local
Maybe we've
Churchillian.
seen him.
I think he's definitely a cutie little pit, but maybe from Rack. I might be mistaken, but so his mural will be unveiled.
That's so cool.
So lots going on, and of course the whole thing is dog friendly.
Yes.
We haven't had a theme in the last several years, but we are hoping to have a theme this year for the dressing up and the
It
food.
should be
and-
disco.
I think we're leaning more towards Pets in the City, like a
that's cute.
New York
Yeah.
City, Sex in the City vibe, if you will.
Hot pet in the city.
Hot pet in the city. Yeah.
Boudreaux, we have to get you some Manolo Blahniks.
Yes. Yeah.
How much are tickets? Like, I know you're doing. We've been every episode we've been trying to get people to buy tables.
Yeah.
But how much
Yes.
is like a general admission ticket?
So typically they'll be about $125 each. Obviously that includes all your food and beverage for the night as well. Those will go on sale closer to the event because we prefer to sell out half tables and full tables first, just for the ease of seating
makes
groups
sense.
together. And I don't want to seat you with your stalkers. So
Damn it, there's so many.
Mine might show up. I'm not
know,
gonna say
right?
his name. God.
Don't do that. Don't call him out. It was not it was touch and go, but
Touch and go.
anyway. So what are some other events coming up?
For Vetcher Care.
yeah, we have, so for all of the golfers out there, we have a Steel Dog Open Golf Tournament that's coming up on Friday, September 20th at Magnolia Green Golf Club. We have a few teams left, and that includes Cirrus, our lovely local friends.
We love Sears
Nice.
vodka. We love it all.
So I think they're gonna have some cocktails at the driving range for the golfers while they're getting set up, and then Terrence is catering boxed lunches.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yep. And then unlimited beer, wine, and canned cocktails on the course. Obviously, your golf and
That sounds dangerous.
Do they need a cart girl?
yeah, we can definitely put you guys to work for sure.
Yeah.
We would love. I actually have experience being a cart girl.
I would love to do that. Actually,
It was a great job.
So
Most money I've ever made in my life.
Magnolia Green does do the carts for us, but we have several other volunteer opportunities at that
Yeah.
Would
golf
love to,
tournament.
yeah.
That's
Sign
a lot
us
of
up.
fun. It's last year. The golf tournament was big for Fetch pre-COVID and then sort of fell off. So last year was the first year that we brought it back. And it was, I'm not a golfer and I've never planned a golf tournament. And I didn't know what to expect. And it was a really awesome day that raised money for some critical life-saving programs. That'll be
People are
coming up.
having fun too.
I might
having-
know some Wells Fargo golfing people.
Oh, I would love those. love those connections. But yeah, throughout all of our events, you'll see us in the fall several times out at community events. So one thing that comes to mind is last year we did a Dogs Giving with the team at PBR Richmond, and Amanda, their incredible manager, made the charcuterie board of my
Charcuterie.
dreams.
That's so funny.
I keep my heart is so full.
So we started in 2024 a supper club where we're partnering with local Richmond restaurants once a month, and we're doing a give back night. So the businesses that we partner with donate at least 10% of their sales for the evening or the day back to us. And it happens once a month. So it's really easy to like just get a group together and be like, all right, our monthly hangout is going to be at Cabo Fish Taco on Thursday, April 15th, because that's our next one. And get together, and you guys are giving back by simply just hanging out at a great local Richmond establishment.
That's awesome.
Raised over, I think, $5,600 this year alone. Just by folks supporting local Richmond businesses. And
You guys are like, you're doing such big things.
thank you.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
We're really proud to be a part of this Richmond community, and the Richmond, food and beverage community has been incredible to us. And so we're happy to support everyone back.
That's why we love Richmond, because of the community.
Yeah.
It just,
It's so collaborative here.
yeah, everyone's helping everybody.
So collaborative. Rose, our new marketing
here.
and events.
She's here.
She's not mic'd up.
silent.
is sitting
She's waving right
Another
now.
row.
next to me. And so I had the opportunity to kind of fill in planning some of these supper clubs while we were waiting on Rose to get here, because she moved to us from Charleston.
Oh, wow.
Charleston, South Carolina?
Yeah.
I
Wow.
lived there for a while. We'll have to pick each other's brains.
Yeah. And every restaurant I called was just like so down to help and host a give back night. And, that I think speaks volumes to the city that we live in, and the dog lovers in the city that we live in, and the cat lovers. So it was an awesome experience.
We're obsessive.
Yeah.
Rose, I know you're not Mike, but do you have any pets currently? Are you in the market?
I currently have a kitten that I have been fostering from the SPCA named Orzo, and I am planning on keeping her. So very excited about that. On my second day of work at Fetch, Renai came into my office and was like, "There's this cat available to foster. You should take it." And I was like, "Okay." And the rest is history.
If you foster a pet at Fetch a Cure, do you have the option of like always adopting?
So our foster program is a little bit tricky, because when we pull the dogs from the shelters, they go into a foster home for 5 days, before a minimum of 5 days before they go into the correctional facility, just to make sure they're going to be a good fit for the program. The correctional facilities are very structured. They can be loud, and that's not for every dog. Like my dog would probably have a meltdown.
Boudreaux would.
Yeah. So after you do your 5 days, they obviously go to the correctional facility for several weeks. If you're still interested after that period, you can fill out an application. And I think a lot of our volunteers are so ingrained in what we do that they know the right dog when they come along. And it's important to us that it's a good fit too. And so those things just kind of naturally happen.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think the more you work with animals too, the more you can tell like right away, like, okay, this is like my dog.
Yeah.
You
that
definitely
I'm coming into contact with. Like,
I
okay.
got my cat from the ASPCA in Richmond, or the SPCA. They call it ASPCA in where I'm from in New York. But so I let her pick me. Like I was very much about like, I'm just going to let the cats come to me, and whatever one like loves me, I'll take that cat home.
Yeah.
So we were there for a while, and my like the cats were scared. They wouldn't come out. And I was with an ex-boyfriend at the time, and he took a phone call, and they put in a girl black cat, and I wanted a boy, but I'm like, okay. So she comes up to me and like bats a toy near me, and I'm like, oh, you want to play? And then she was nuzzling me, and that's how I knew she was my baby. And
Yeah.
we're just best friends. My cat is my child,
Yeah.
and she knows it.
That's the best though.
I know. I feel like animals choose you.
Yeah.
That's how it was with Boudreaux. So,
They definitely
like,
do. And I think, I've been fostering for several years now, and it's very easy to get attached to everyone. I think my favorite thing about our foster program at Fetch is that because, it's like a decompression foster, and we know they have to go into the correctional facility and do their training, there's an official start date and an official end date, which for my brain makes it a little bit easier to not get as attached, because they have to go back on this day. It's sort of like you're babysitting.
Right.
So hard.
But we definitely have fosters that are, they check in throughout their training process. And people are so in love with the program that a lot of times, this just happened last week, we had a family reach out that their Pixie's pen pal's dog passed. They had adopted from us in 2011, I believe. Then the dog unfortunately finally passed after a beautiful, long,
I was gonna say,
happy,
that's like
healthy,
a long life.
great life. And they are like, we will wait for the right Pixie's pen pals to come along. We believe in this program.
That's
like
so
it's important to us. And so I think that once you're in the Pixie's pen pals program, you're in it, for life.
And it's when it.
Yes.
Because I want a dog eventually, but I live in a tiny apartment. But once I'm more established, I'm doing Pixie's pen pals.
Yeah. Well, and
they're already trained.
they're already trained and they're used to living in a cell with 2 handlers, so they're not used to an abundance of space.
True.
Which is
Yeah.
helpful. When I got Javi straight out of the correctional facility, he immediately was like, fine. There was no, and they, like I said, because they've been with these dogs for weeks, they tell you so much, you can only use the black Kong, and you can't like give him certain treats because he'll get a little spicy with those, they just.
That's so amazing because so many shelters do not have the staffing either, and so they're overwhelmed. The shelters, overflowing, and then you don't get that one-on-one time. So when you go to see a dog, you're seeing 5 minutes of that, and that what could lead to it's horrible when you hear about people saying, "Oh, this didn't work out. I'm returning the dog," or whatever like that.
Yeah, and that decompression period too is really critical.
Right.
Just giving him time to breathe.
It's true. Boudreaux, you need a moment? No, I'm just kidding. He's 14. He's chill
Yes.
most of the time.
So how can our listeners follow you and support you, especially with all the events coming up?
Yeah. So Rose is incredible at posting events to our social media channels. So at Fetchacure on Instagram, and then if you just search Fetchacure on Facebook. Also, our website is www.fetchacure.org, and there's a section on our website where you can be added to our email list. We send an email every other Tuesday. It shares heartwarming stories about our pen pals dogs that we're working with, our companions in crisis dogs and cats that we're working with that are pursuing treatment, happy updates. The number of happy updates that we get to share with dogs who have completed and cats who have completed their treatment and are just thriving. Events are shared on there as well. We also have an events calendar on our website that folks can check out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's super
Perfect.
helpful. And we'll link it all up.
I was going to say,
thank
as
you.
usual.
Yeah.
Per usual. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
This was
thank
so
you.
fun.
You can continue to jump in.
Yeah,
at any-
we're still we have some more stuff on the
We're
episode.
not cutting you loose.
Perfect.
But
Yeah, we're not done yet.
Big Daddy, you want to
Drop it on us.
Yeah, so guys, I'm going to be talking about our experience at Midtown Yoga. And why am I talking about that? So Emily was on our last show, and
Emily
we
and
got
Rose.
Emily and Rose.
Another Rose.
Yes.
Another
know,
redhead
it
Rose.
Also had red hair. Yeah.
This is wild.
And so I had experienced hot yoga for the first time, and believe me, it was hot. It was 105 degrees, and it was humid. And not only was it yoga, but it was the strength version. And so there was weightlifting,
Burpees.
Poor Big Daddy didn't realize that wasn't a normal yoga class. And I
Yeah.
was like, you realize we booked the strength.
and we did push-ups and planks as well. And it was much more difficult than I thought. And it was challenging to, basically walk around after the class.
I had a horrible time afterwards.
And so I'm a distance runner, and I consider myself to be in pretty good physical shape, but this was pretty challenging, I thought. And it's the most sweating I've ever done in my life. And
Oh,
so
same.
I can attest to that, folks.
It looked like I got drenched in rain. I'm not even
That's
kidding.
how Matt wrung his shirt out.
yeah, it was
literal.
my whole shirt was soaked. And
Same.
it
The
was just-
entire thing.
yeah.
We forgot to bring towels too to stand on, and so Olivia did remember that. And Matt and I were slipping and sliding. Let me tell you.
And then we had to do burpees, and it was like 100 degrees in there. We had to do the burpees, and I saw stars, and I almost passed out. Legitimately almost passed out. Laid like a slug on my mat the entire class.
Yeah, like I was saying, I stood up. I felt like it was headed in that direction. So I was just taking it really easy.
And I came home, and I mean, Midtown Yoga, props to you. That was a kick-ass class, but like I got home and I did puke my brains out.
Oh no.
So make sure you're hydrated.
And so what are some of the major benefits? It works on the core and all the major muscle groups. My heart rate got up to 167 during the class. So that means it's definitely an intense workout. So I tried another regular hot yoga class, and it was a totally different experience. It was more meditative. It was more about stretching.
He's
and
obsessed
balance.
now.
Still
People.
challenging though. I would
Yeah.
argue. Yeah.
And so I thought it was a really great class, and I want to do it again.
I told him before the strength class, I was like, I think you're going to become obsessed with this.
Yeah.
And he was like, no. And then after the strength class, he was like, I don't know. And then after the yoga class, he was like, I think we should sign up for more. I was
really
like, I
should.
told you, Biatch,
yeah,
you were
that's
gonna like
my
this.
jam now.
Yeah.
I enjoy yoga, but the strength is a little much.
Yeah, and as a first class, I wouldn't recommend that. I would try just the basic, what do they call it? Hot flow?
Yeah.
Hot flow, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also an intro class that is like a medium flow.
So, once again, that's at Midtown Yoga. So go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, wonderful place. And it is tough, but in a good way. Like it feels like you really
Yeah.
accomplished something.
And all the instructors are very nice. I've gone to like 3 classes now, and they all are very like, they'll chat with you afterwards and
they're
give
also
you pointers and stuff.
They're not pushy during the class. Like when I had my time, when I was dying on my mat, laying like a slug, no
I
one
lay
bothered
down.
me. No, like they were just very supportive. Like they're not like, get up, come on.
Yeah, it wasn't like boot camp
Yeah.
training.
They were nice. So.
They didn't lash you with a wet noodle.
She did check on me though. I saw her
That's
coming
nice.
over and check on me a few
Yeah.
times. But
All
Like,
right.
do you need an IV?
yeah, do you need an ambulance?
So we had a great experience. And next up on dropping
Wow, 2 things in one night. This is
dropping
crazy.
on us Big
Dropping
Daddy.
number 2.
It was a
once-
busy day.
Twice, 3 times nice.
3 times later.
And so, because the Olympics are going on, I'm going to talk about some fun facts
Yeah.
about historic Olympics and today's Olympics. And so, the first Olympic Games took place in the 8th century BC in Olympia, Greece. Well, that's kind of obvious there. They were held every
The more you know.
they were held for every 4 years for 12 centuries.
Damn.
So that's a long time.
That's like 1,200 years for y'all.
Damn.
A long
One of the
time.
more unusual events they had was called pankration, which was introduced in 648 BC, and it was a brutal combination of wrestling and boxing. The only rules were no biting and no eye gouging. So,
Sounds like the strength class.
Pretty low bar.
Did they have to wear boxing gloves?
well, hold on. In ancient Greece, athletes didn't worry about sponsorship, protection, or fashion. They were completely naked.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
That.
So,
I'd like to have seen that.
I would like to see that. I'm not even gonna lie.
and so the original games lasted for 5 or 6 months instead
Oh
of
my
yeah. And
God,
so
what?
they were
Wait, how long are the Olympics now?
just
2
a few,
weeks.
yeah, a couple weeks. And so moving on to more modern Olympics from 1912 to 1948, artists participated in the Olympics. Painters, sculptors, architects, writers, and musicians competed for medals in their respective fields.
I never knew that.
And in 1900, the Paris Olympics featured croquet and live pigeon shooting. Croquet is not in the Olympics anymore, as well as pigeon shooting for
I've done that, but not with. Is it real pigeons?
yeah, real pigeons. And
That's terrible.
so they
That's
only
not good to say on the Fetch a Cure episode.
and so they only had it once, and it was canceled after that.
I can see why.
Yeah. 2012 London Games were the first Olympics in which all participating countries sent female athletes. And I'm like, 2012, they should have done that much earlier.
yeah. Wait, 2012?
Yeah. And so the 5 rings of the Olympic symbol represent the 5 inhabited continents of the world. The 6 colors, blue, yellow, black, green, red, and white, the background, were chosen because every nation's flag contains at least one of them.
Oh, no, that's cool. Did not know that.
The most decorated Olympian in history, Michael Phelps, won 28 medals,
The
including
goat, baby.
Pot smoker.
yeah, one of the champions of.
That's why his lung capacity is so amazing.
He's trained for this.
He can do a big bong rip.
We know from the video.
And so he won 23 golds from 2004 to 2016. And Vatican City is the only nation state that has never sent an athlete. So you'll never see a cardinal or.
There's never going to be a pope like out there throwing the discus every day.
Never say never, you guys.
Running the
This is a
hurdles.
crazy world we live in.
Breakdancing made its Olympic debut in Paris 2024.
I did know that.
Did you guys watch it?
So I feel like tomorrow is the first.
I gotta see that.
Yeah, I really want to see
What
it.
time is that?
I don't know, but
You should watch that at your house.
definitely check it
Wanna
out.
Come over? We'll go to a bar. I don't have TV.
All right.
So this is an interesting fact. American gymnast and gold and silver medalist Jordan Childs was named after fellow Olympian Michael Jordan.
I knew that.
Oh,
And
These are really cool, Matt.
Team USA women's water polo team, big sponsor this year is Flava Flav.
Oh my
Sure.
God.
We knew that.
Yes.
Flava Flav.
are you guys living for all the Snoop Dogg memes from
Yes.
We
Paris?
talked about that on last episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
so
love
good.
his commentary, like on
His outfit, the equestrian
doesn't?
outfit.
Yeah, him and
on
Martha.
fleek.
Oh my God, yes. My coworker and I had just said, like, where's Martha, his BFF? And then she,
There she
like,
was.
showed
Showed
up the next day.
I feel like I know Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
And so,
on a
what?
spiritual level.
Speaking of speaking of Olympics, what is everybody's favorite event?
I think it's going to be breakdancing now, but I like to watch men's swimming.
I wonder what. Well, maybe it should change to pole vaulting.
Oh, yeah.
No, not. Is it pole
Yeah,
vaulting?
Pole
pole
vaulting, yeah.
After
there's-
that, perhaps.
the
Did y'all
sword,
hear
the
about
swords touched.
No.
Oh my
the
God.
guy's, I'm sorry, but the guy's penis was humongous.
He
And
got disqualified because his penis hit
the pole.
The pole.
And then it jiggled and it was huge.
Amazing.
There's been a lot of excited females
There was a
and
lady-
men
I
out
love
there.
the
too.
Olympics.
Yeah.
There was a video I saw today. I can't remember who it was with. Oh, I think I sent it to both of y'all. It was the guy that I love from, his name's Matt Cutshall. He's like a comedian, but it was his wife. Like, he handed her a video of it and she's like, can I zoom in on this? This is amazing.
Enhance.
Yes.
And it's like, oh man, I lost because of my giant wiener. And the other guys are probably like, who won? They're like,
He did. He got
won.
disqualified, but he won.
He
He
won.
also got offered like a $200,000 modeling contract or something after this. So he's cashing in on that
because
baby.
of his
All right.
wiener?
He's a winner,
Yeah,
baby. He's a
could-
wiener, baby.
He could be a spokesperson for Viagra or something like that.
Perhaps.
I'm sure Cialis or something will be his sponsor next time.
So anyway, my favorite is women's volleyball. I like track and
I
field.
wonder
and,
why.
and so we saw the most interesting thing last night. They call, instead of synchronized swimming, they call it artistic swimming. And these women are like extremely intense. Like I never realized that swimming like that could be so intense, and it was really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
I
I have
agree.
not caught any of the synchronized artistic swimming, but we did catch some gymnastics, women's
Yeah, that's
gymnastics,
always good.
you know, Simone Biles and the crew.
Yeah, she's been
Yeah.
kicking ass.
I think she's the most decorated gymnast
She
in
is.
U.S. history now. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. I love gymnastics. I also love swimming. Not a specific gender. I like both. Like I just get into the swimming,
Yeah.
so I like that.
You know what I really enjoyed about these Olympics is all the TikToks they've made,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the hilarious, like this guy, you know, the gymnast thing when they're on the horse thing, like what is it
pommel.
called?
Yeah.
The pommel horse?
Yeah, and this girl, she's like, "Go, Steven! Go!" I gotta. It's so funny. I'll link it up
You're gonna
on our
have to
Instagram.
link it 'cause
yeah,
somebody
it's
needs to see this.
hilarious. And she's like, "Take your glasses off, Steven." It's so funny.
So anyway, that concludes our double feature of Dropping on Us Big
That
Daddy.
was my favorite Big Daddy so far.
Really,
Yeah.
really out of all of our
Yay.
20,
I'm honored to be a part of that then.
21 episodes.
Yeah, loved it.
Wow.
This is the
Good
22nd.
job, Big Daddy.
All right. Well, next up we have our business of the week.
I'm not used to doing the business of the week, so this is a new thing
You
for me.
volunteered as tribute.
And so, drum roll, it goes to Nightingale Ice Cream.
Yes.
Why is that? Because they make the most amazing, delicious ice cream sandwiches, and they're an ice cream company that specializes in handcrafted ice cream sandwiches.
And they're from Richmond, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I want an ice cream sandwich.
I
It's
do
so
too.
hot outside.
Yeah.
So they are known for their rich, creamy ice cream with fresh baked cookies. Nightingale has quickly gained a reputation for producing high-quality, indulgent ingredients. Their commitment is to using premium ingredients and unique flavor combinations has made them a local favorite and a sought-after treat nationwide now.
I didn't realize they were nationwide.
Wow. Good for them.
Yeah, so you can find Nightingale ice cream sandwiches at many local businesses, including grocery stores and gas stations. One of my favorites is Union Market in
About to say,
Churchill,
Yeah.
which, they have an amazing selection there.
They've got a cool little grocery store, kind of.
Yeah, and a little bit of backstory. Nightingale was started by husband and wife restaurateurs at Hatch Kitchen in Manchester.
Yeah.
So,
R.I.P. Or I guess no, they're still doing
no,
the kitchen,
they
but-
still do the incubator stuff, but
No, but I still want the food, bitches.
yeah,
They're not bitches.
we love going to Hatch. So
It was great.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the business of the week.
Cool.
Yay.
Band of the week, Liz?
The Gravy Boat Band. They're a 4-piece band out of RVA, bringing high energy, feel-good vibes, and new soundscapes to the stage. Matt and I just saw them at the Virginia Brews Beer Fest.
Formerly the Brouhaha.
Yes, at the Virginia Museum of History and Culture. They kicked ass. Like, we sang along to every song.
What songs did they sing?
They did some Tom Petty. I think they did.
They did some Eagles. They
Cool.
did.
So like a 70s vibe?
Yeah.
70s,
Yeah,
80s,
like an
90s.
70s,
eclectic
80s,
mix.
Yes. I think they did some Pink Floyd. It was really cool because they had a screen behind them. Usually the event's outside, and because of all the rain we've been getting.
Imagine that.
'cause
We've been
we live
getting
in
rain.
Seattle now. They moved it inside, so it was a really cool, like chippy. Kind
So they're
like
kind of
screen.
psychedelic.
Yes.
Love that. I gotta see that.
I know. So they are comprised of, to name a few, keyboardist Neil Friedman and Jarvis Griffin on lead vocals. Their lineup kind of changes around a bit, they say. So you should check them out on Facebook. If you just type in the Gravy Boat Band Richmond, it'll pop up. And check out their upcoming events on the page as well.
Yes. Cool.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. I gotta check them out. I've never heard of them.
Well, I know. That's why I was like, let's highlight them because
Cool.
they were really good.
Yeah.
They were like
check 'em out.
one of the first ones where I haven't heard their name that many times. So let's blow them up,
Yeah, and
people.
what was interesting is usually at that festival they have more like jazz or like bluegrass type of music. So
Yes,
this was
it's
something new.
different,
Yeah.
yeah.
This switched it up, and I thought it brought like a more livelier
different.
vibe
Different.
because people
Yeah.
were like dancing and singing along. Whereas, like most of the bluegrass stuff they would play before was like
Kind of
instrumental. I mean, you didn't
It's just kind of cozy. It's not
Yeah.
like pump up.
exactly.
All right, we got some shout outs coming up.
Yeah. Shout out to Fetch a Cure. For real. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
guys.
excited. And Pets on Parade, Pixie's Pen Pals, Companions in Crisis.
Yeah, you got them all.
Cool.
I want to say shout out to the Dancing Kilt Brewery in Chester. We spoke to one of the owners and master brews. Well, I don't think he's the brewer, but still. He was wearing a kilt, so I just want to say cheers to him. He was a lot of fun, and we hope to have him on the pod and visit the brewery
Hell yeah.
sometime soon. Jack Brown's, Brambley Park.
Main Street Station.
That's
Yeah.
right. Renee, anything else you want to shout out?
Cabo Vishaco, our next supper club. We're excited to be there with them.
Do you have to sign up for the supper club?
No, you just go.
And when is it?
Thursday, August 15th from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Ooh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And the don't like the
10% of everyone's tab comes
Okay.
back to us.
Oh,
so
my
Well,
God.
next
do this. We gotta
Thursday.
go.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
go.
Also, our July supper club was August or July supper club was O'Toole's Midlothian.
Oh, I love that place.
And they raised like $700 in one day.
Wow, that's
Which is
awesome.
awesome.
They have
That's
a good
such an
room in there.
easy.
too.
That is an easy way to volunteer.
Yeah, easy way to, give back. We've also been at, Sticky Rice this year. Brambley Park did a
Wow.
supper club for us. I'm sure I'm missing some.
So how many guests do you usually have at a supper club?
Whoever wants to go, you just make your reservations or through the restaurant if they, take reservations, but otherwise you just show up.
Show up, okay.
Yeah.
Do you tell them that you're here for this, or all of it goes? Like even people who don't even realize.
We've been really fortunate so far that just 10% of
Everybody?
all sales.
That's amazing.
So yeah, we've done Bingo Beer Club, Mosaic on River Road, Sticky Rice, had a really successful night, Oak and Apple and Choco Bottom.
Wow.
Yum.
All the big names.
Yeah, we've got more. Rose is working on some really good ones coming up. Also, shout out to Triple Crossing Fulton. I took all my dogs there the other night.
One of my favorite breweries.
Best dog friendly patio. If you're not getting the hot honey pepperoni pizza, you're
Oh my
their
god!
pizza's amazing.
You're gonna make
That's
me
our
want one.
favorite, yes.
Let's order that
So
now.
good.
Let's all go. No.
Yeah.
Thanks, Renee.
Thank
I
you
know.
guys.
have
This was
you on.
awesome.
Yay, we had such a great time. And then next time, Big Daddy and Olivia are going to be taking the reins because
Oh, yeah.
this little mama's going to be in Italy.
Ooh, we're gonna be interviewing a local actor in Richmond. Where has he been on?
So he's been on Homeland.
Walking Dead.
He was in the same season that I was on.
Wow.
Yes.
And also The Walking Dead, like Liz mentioned.
And
And
a bunch more, right?
yeah, many more things.
He's been in several movies and TV shows that, in Virginia.
He's a really nice guy too.
Roger Tyler is his name. If anyone wants to check out his
Bio.
page,
Website
like or his
IMDb,
Wikipedia,
yeah.
IMDb before he comes on. But
Yeah. I'm gonna
I'll
miss
miss you
you.
guys. Arrivederci. I shall be in Italia.
So that should be, even though Liz will be leaving us, it should be a fantastic episode.
Yeah.
I know.
We're gonna rock the house, Matt.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We don't need
I mean,
Liz.
Daddy. Yeah. And
That's a lot.
as always, everyone, make sure to follow us and subscribe to the podcast.
Oh,
We're on
send us pictures of any of your rescue dogs, like on our page. Like
Yeah,
that would be
That'd
fun.
cute. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that. But our Instagram is olala_RVA. We're on Facebook. We have a website at
Yep.
olala-rva.net.
.net.
.net.
It's a trustworthy
We're
site.
hipsters. Yeah, cool.
All right,
Guys.
see
All right,
ya
bye, guys.
in like a month. Bye. Ciao.